今天我们很荣幸在欧盟电影节这边邀请到了开幕式的电影《三傻西行记》的导演Jaak Kilmi 先生。Hi, Mr. Jaak Kilmi. Welcome. It's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
It is my pleasure too. Hi.
Yeah, could you please introduce yourself a bit more to the audience?
Yeah, my name is Jaak Kilmi. I'm from Estonia. I'm a film director, and I'm presenting here my latest film, The Dissidents. It's a comedy that takes place in early 80s. That is my favorite time period.
Great. Can you tell us why you mentioned like 80s was your favorite period of time? Is there a particular reason behind it?
Yeah, since I was born in 70s and grew up in 80s. So in 80s I spent the lovely childhood and interesting teenage years. So I could say that I know the 80s because I kind of grew up in 80s.
I see. Good. Can you tell us what inspired you to make this film, the latest film?
This film is my third
feature film.
Yes. And all my films I've made, I kind of I've made them as a time travels because they all have taken place in past or recent past.
Like in the 80s?
80s or 60s.
60s.
One film took place in 60s. So it's kind of, I think that, when you make a film, it is kind of interesting to absolutely the change the decorations. It's kind of the period movies are kind of stage for things that take place. But it's like decoration. It's like different decoration. When you go to theater, you also don't want to see the gray reality, but you want to see the decorations.
Yep.
That's why the kind of past is kind of decoration for my stories.
I see. So that kind of also your style of filmmaking.
It doesn't concern the style so much because I think that the way my actors act or the way I direct them, it has nothing to do with the past so much. They're still kind of contemporary films, but they just take place in past.
It took place in the past, but you can relate the story to the present, right?
Yeah. So this film actually, it is framed with the nowadays. So it's kind of it starts with kind of with this year and goes back to early 80s, like more than 30 years.
Yeah.
And then we are again here in our world, in our reality.
Yep.
So it's kind of always interesting to see the kind of the difference.
Great. So what do you expect the audience to take away from this movie after watching it?
I think that the story, even it is situated in totally different reality, different like geographical reality. It is still kind of universal story. For the three characters, three main characters, the goal they are striving to is to live better life. In this case, in the case of my film, the better life, as they think, waits for them in the West. So they go to the West, and then they kind of get disillusioned because the reality
and what they thought of the West would be like. There's a gap.
Yeah, the gap between reality and dreams is something that usually is good material for a film.
Yes. Good. And it's universal because it's like everywhere in the world, lots of people want to get a better life, and they have a kind of their own illusion or their own opinion on the outside world, the Western world. But there is a gap there.
Yeah.
So your film can really relate to that.
Yes, but what is also kind of typical for my film characters that they all very often they are not kind of let's say pure positive characters like these guys the protagonists, they are still like small-time criminals. And I'm not even the title in Estonian was Heroes, but it was kind of meant like heroes. So we are kind of making jokes of them.
I see. So small-time criminals become heroes.
Yeah. So they are kind of treated as heroes, but they are not exactly the heroes. The people want to see with them.
Yeah, not the stereotype of heroes.
Yeah, so kind of they are most probably they are heroes in their life.
I see. So I guess there must be some really interesting anecdotes that happened during the shooting of the film, right? Can you share some of the interesting things that happened during the shooting of the film?
I could say that filmmaking very often is very constructive and serious time. You have this like shooting schedule. The shooting days are very often too short. You just try to shoot everything that you need to shoot in that particular day. So it's kind of always hurrying. And when something unexpected happens, then it's usually kind of surprise, and usually kind of negative surprise.
Yeah.
So
it's a challenge for the director.
It's always
you have to make quick decisions in this case.
Exactly, and you have to make compromises.
Oh yeah.
A lot. So, but in my case, there were some like, of course, like funny things that you just later remember them and laugh. But but what was difficult was so it goes more and more difficult to make period films in our world, because the world is changing and all the kind of decorations are changing, all the exteriors are changing, even the interiors is pretty difficult to kind of reconstruct the interiors of 80s when people just have thrown out all this old stuff
and you have to put them back in order to shoot the film.
Exactly, and to find the props from 80s, to find some city corners that still look like 80s. It is kind of big challenge.
I see.
So it is definitely easier to make contemporary stories in contemporary environments.
So will this kind of change your idea of making some maybe films in the future to tell the to shoot a contemporary film?
Yes, I will. But anyway, I like the idea that the film set is kind of decoration that looks different from your everyday life. So one of my next films, if everything goes kind of as planned, I will shoot in South Asia somewhere. in a jungle.
In the jungle.
Yeah, so because for European filmmaker, jungle is something like very, very different and also very exotic and very inspiring.
Yes, wow. So is that kind of a specific genre of films that you are really fond of making?
I like light topics, or I can also kind of, I think I can make also film on a serious topic, but definitely
You prefer
I always
comedies?
look at the bright side of
Everything
light.
of life.
The bright side of everything. So I could imagine that when you're making film about kind of tragic topic, you can make some funny. You can find some funny moments, and you bring out some funny moments there.
See siin olen mina ja see on Maarjo Viik, mu parim sõber. Ta ajas meile oma venna kaudu soomlasi välja, kes meile Virusse lääne kaupa tõid. Välismaad teksad, šukad, suitsud, nätsud, isegi kilekotid, kõik oli siis kõva valuuta. Selline hangeldamine oli siis muidugi karistatav.
Amatöör. Võt häälid, kõik korras?
Einar Kotkin, hüüdimi Kapp. Peamine oli vast see, et Kapi vanematel oli lada.
A tossa ei olegi või?
Need otsad saab maja käieta. Täis sünteetika.
Täis pank, mehed, täis pank. Vend võeti kinni just. Viidi ära kogu kambaga. Nüüd on nii. Võtame paadi ja paneme ise üle lahe minema. Viru juures on niikuinii kellad asjaga. Mida siin mõelda veel on? Teeme ära, no!
Äkki nad ei tea, et me oleme need paadikangelased.
Siin on kõik paadikangelased.
Ega teil koduigatsus vahepeal pole peale tulnud?
KGB.
Töökindad.
Me ei tulnud välismaale tööle ju. Võiks nüüd seda Eestis ka teha.
Hüppa üle. Peame mingi suure otsa tegema. Mis sa said? Jõujooki. Dishwashing liquid. Mida terse, mida asi see? See on musklite pesemiseks, loll!
Can you tell us how much you know about Chinese movies?
I've been organizing a film festival in my home country in Estonia, and so in recent years I haven't watched that many films, but I remember from my earlier years, I always wanted to see very different films. And always kind of Chinese film or films directed by Chinese directors have been kind of interesting for me, because I've been looking for different approaches to film and to film language.
Yeah.
So one big favorite of mine has always been Wong Kar-wai.
Wang Jiawei, yeah, I see.
And but I also like the kind of the epic Chinese film Zhang Yimou.
Zhang Yimou, yeah.
This is one of the directors I like. Yeah, but definitely when I'm in a film festival, I'm looking for something new. So, and very often I can find the new things, the interesting things in Eastern films.
Hopefully in the future you will get the opportunity to co-produce certain films with Chinese filmmakers.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
definitely. That would be very interesting. The cultural exchange is always bringing fresh air
Yeah.
to art.
Yes,
and,
yes.
The creative people usually, it's very common that we are trying to mix the in our stories kind of create some kind of cultural conflicts or cultural mixtures. It's something. It brings something fresh.
Yeah. That's what's interesting about movies, to show the different cultural shocks, cultural differences in the movie. Great. And before we finish up here, I know many of our audience are young people. They love to get into movie industry. As an experienced movie maker as you, what advice do you think you can give to our Chinese audience?
I remember from my teenage years that I wanted to be part of not be part of the film industry, because I didn't know what is film industry, but I wanted to make films. So I could say that the film industry is something that that gives you the chances to live and experience new things, and kind of the routine is very different from the routine, let's say, in a business or in office work. So even there is a lot of office work in the film industry as well, but always the kind of lot happens. It's very adventurous field.
Adventures. You have to be adventurous type to get into the movie industry.
Yeah, sure. Because you need to understand that everything changes. It's very spontaneous. Not the industry is not spontaneous, but you need to get used with
changes.
With changes, yes. Exactly.
You have to be quick, right, to adapt yourself to the quick changing environment.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. This is very valuable advice that you've given to our audience. Any other words you'd like to say to your movie viewers in China before we finish up here?
I'm very excited to present my film in China. I must say that when I made this film, I never imagined me presenting this film in China, because this kind of story that is closely related with my past in my country, but it makes me very happy that I could bring this film to the wider audience internationally.
Great. We hope more people will get the chance to watch your film and appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the interview and giving us all the valuable advice. Yeah, it's a real honor. Thank you. I wish you all the best.